question, is it not?
Yes.
Is there any reason why you could not or would not begin to devote your attention to achieving such a memorandum of understanding so that you could define where the authorities of Food and Drug lie and the authorities of the agency in the state of Massachusetts lie? Are you willing to undertake that, ladies?
Well, I certainly think that there are multiple opportunities for us to do better in terms of the communications and that sort of thing at the very beginning.
We are going to try, I think you can sense from the committee and its questions, to proceed towards a legislative solution. It may very well be that we have to do so, and I think we're determined to do so. What I'm hoping is that while we are doing that you will commence doing what you have the capacity to do, i.e. a memorandum of understanding where the two of you define your respective responsibilities so that we can get ahead of this curve, and if we cannot complete our business by year end because of the Senate or other things, that we are able, therefore, because of your labors, to commence the process of moving along on a parallel track. Are you willing to do that?
We are certainly willing to do that, and we are pulling together all of the 50 states in order to really begin
Beloved friend,
I don't want to sort out
the difficulties
and the activities.
But I want to look at how we resolve the problem.
But I would just have to underscore that it still won't address the split in the courts.
The clock
and the different
runs.
regulatory
It is
requirements.
most uncharitable. I will look to hear you give me an answer on what you can do to get a memorandum of understanding done between your two agencies and or other agencies. Now, it is possible to define a compounder as a person who makes certain amounts, and to define a manufacturer as a person who makes certain amounts of pharmaceuticals, is it not? Yes or no?
You could decide to put that in legislation. Currently, that does not exist in the legislation.
So you're telling me you don't have the authority to do that? You do, or you don't have authority?
In and of itself is not dispositive. It could be put into legislation as a statutory based factor in our
New
determination.
England Compounding Center and other like-hearted rascals have engaged in the practice of figuring themselves a fine loophole in which, through lobbying and other efforts, they have been able to assure that they're able to engage in practices that impose substantial dangers on the American people. Now, having said that, I'd like to have you tell me one more thing here, if you please, Doctor. You have one of the required treatments for this particular fungicidal meningitis that takes place is to have availability of a substance called oral voriconazole, which is a therapy used in treating spinal meningitis. There is a great concern on the part of a hospital in my district, St. Joseph Mercy at Ann Arbor, and they are troubled that there's going to be a shortage of this particular pharmaceutical available to them to provide the necessary treatments for their patients who have been hurt by this particular the particular injectable that we're talking about today. What is there that we can do to assure that there is an adequate, current, and future supply chain for oral voriconazole?
Well, voriconazole has been used in the treatment intravenously, and it is, from the very beginning, we've been looking at the possibility of shortages. When last I discussed that with our drug shortage team, they did not feel it was in shortage. I have not heard anything further. I will get back to you if there are concerns, but I do not believe that it is at risk for shortage at the present time.
This is a matter of urgent concern, and I would suspect if my people at St. Joe's are concerned that you will have hospitals and practitioners elsewhere in the country who will have the same concern. So I would appreciate it if you would please
we
get
have been
back
examining that.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your courtesy.